don't live in and suffer behind the fear, but embrace the uncomfortability and just zoom out and learn what is it that's making you uncomfortable. Where does it root from? Because it's making you uncomfortable, you know. So it's like society never taught us like how to become aware of that, just that simple nature. Because once you embrace the uncomfortability, that's just the first step of climbing the mountain.
Welcome to another installment of Deep Thoughts. In this episode, we spoke with Ollie. Ollie is an artist, creative, and podcast host. Enjoy the show.
Like they just make it. I've seen the same cats for years on the street with no home.
Nah, it's because of the 9 lives, man.
Yeah. I don't even know anything about the 9 lives. I gotta get up.
I mean, you heard about it though, right? Because
I've heard about it.
Yeah,
I've heard people talk about it.
Everybody says that. I wonder why. Do y'all know? No, do you know? People just be saying
I
cats
just
have 9
know
lives.
they got 9 lives. You know
Does
what
anybody
I mean?
know? Let us know.
All right, man.
Yeah.
If you listening,
Tap in, man, because cats stay out the way. That's why I appreciate them, man. You know, I feel like we live in a world where a lot of people just, they rely on other people and other people's approval, and a lot of people just move in a very like unconscious way. Therefore, you're in the way. And I don't know, man. I respect cats, man. Shout out to all the cats out there.
Shout out to Mikasa, which is a stray cat that I know. Nice, very powerful.
She got a name.
No, that's a guy.
Oh, he got a name.
Yeah, Mikasa. I named it Mikasa.
Ah.
I hit him with my car one time. He was
you
all
hit
right
it
though.
with
He
the
was
car.
all
He
right.
wiped it off.
Yeah,
He
he wiped.
He
Bruh, 8
you only
lives
took-
now.
yeah.
You got 8 now.
Yeah.
You good?
What the hell?
It wasn't on purpose. No, I was just driving and he just ran in front of it.
Listen, as long as
No, but he didn't get hit though, right?
No, he got hit. But he's good though. He's all right.
good.
Yeah, he's
Like
fine.
a
He's
champ.
great actually.
Maybe I guess that's why they
And
say
y'all
you
are
got,
still
they
on
got
good
9
terms.
lives.
Healthy. And what?
Y'all
And he
on
loves
good
me.
terms.
I bring the food, brother.
That's why you gotta respect cats, man. I mean, come on, bro. You can't do that to a human being and expect him to respect you. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
gonna sue
cats-
you.
Yeah, he gonna sue you, or he gonna try to do the same thing back to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Cats, they rise above, man. They wipe that car accident off and get back to it. Like, let's work, Flamo. Let's make some music.
The cat get behind the wheel and try to find me.
Yeah.
He's trying to hit
Send
me.
me the Addy, I'm hunting him down. Foul.
Oh, man. Yeah, but we cool. Mikasa's real dope. All black cat. That's why I named it Mikasa. And then he just responded to that name well. Started hugging up on me.
Wait, why though? You said all black. What do you mean?
Why did it get the name Mikasa?
Yeah.
Because that's my home.
Oh.
My home.
I was thinking, I was thinking of, but that's because I've
Anime,
been. I was thinking about Attack on Titan.
He done. He done.
No, but that's how I've
You
been
are
watching
what you
it.
consume. You feel me? You feel me?
That's a fact. Mikasa, man, home is where the heart is. People sleep. That's a good way to like have relationships with people, man. If you're not home, bro, there's no love in this type of relationship.
Yo, that's very interesting that you say that, because I feel like growing up I struggled with that, like a relationship at home. The best relationship that I had was the one that I had with my brother. He was the closest to my age group. Out of all of us, I'm the youngest, and so even now I'm still dealing with the repercussions of that. Like I'm still dealing with I never really got close to anybody outside of my brother. So everybody seems like or maybe I might seem like the the one who's stranded.
Right.
But in actuality, bro, I'm just a part of a whole new generation, like a different generation. And the gap is so massive, yo. And for me to like even try to articulate or communicate takes a lot.
Yeah.
It takes a lot, bro.
Yeah.
But it's also a grind that you have to, if you want to build any relationship, you kind of have to get uncomfortable and grow.
Yeah.
Do you feel that those conversations tend to be repetitive? Like when you do talk to other family? Because I feel like with me, like they are repetitive. Like if I try to reach out to some of my family members, like it's just like, it'll be similar topics.
Yeah.
Again.
It's like you don't have any point of reference when it comes to the things that you're relatable. like with. So me and like I said, my brother, he's more closer to me. He's still 10 years older than I am, but we've shared a lot of the same things in this life. It's just a little bit of a gap, just a little bit. But everyone else is like 15, 20, once you start getting to those numbers, it's huge. It's like, okay, right? Like you 20, you have your whole life. You've lived a life, and I'm one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work?
And they got your own family and stuff now.
Yeah. And then you got to, exactly.
That quick.
So, yeah,
things
man, it's a
happen
lot.
Fast, and I don't, and this is your blood brother.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm a single child. Well, I have three younger sisters. My first sister is 8 years younger than me. Second one, 10 years younger. And then my third sister, and by the way, this is through like, with my father, I have two sisters, and with my mother, I have one sister. And the one sister that I have with my mother, I am 16 years older than. All girls, you feel me? But throughout the majority of my life, just growing up as a single child, you kind of, you appreciate the the two parents that you have, you know what I mean? And it's just different though. It's different in than your circumstance, you know what I mean? Because you were really close with this is your older brother? Yeah. See, I had to kind of like choose my brothers. Not like, in a direct way. It was more like just God in the universe putting everybody in place in my life at the right times. That I later grew the awareness of like, oh no, this is my brother. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just through bond, you know what I mean? And pain too, It's like I don't, I feel like a true brother, like a true like person in your life is that they carry that stature because or that title, if y'all really been through some real pain together. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's easy, it's cool, it's convenient to like, just call somebody up just to hang out. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people find bond in relationships through that, through recreational bonds. But I feel like, really helping somebody out, like, pulling up on your brother when he has things to do, he has errands to run, he's going through something and he really needs your help, your support. Yeah. That's what I call like a true brother, a true friend. If not, then like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, we could just, I just don't really find any like true like, passion in that. Yeah. But yeah, I feel it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, like how, we don't even have to be blood and we could be brothers, just through the support and the relationships that we have with each other.
That's how it is, man. If you don't have that relationship with family, you can go build that same familial relationship with friends, bro. Yeah. It's come on, man.
Yeah. Hey, bro. Yeah. No, I feel like nothing bonds you more than pain. Yeah. Like when you go through
pain is growth.
That's why.
And we've had these conversations before, with us. Yeah. I mean, pain is something that's relatable. Everybody relates to pain. Even at homes where, I mean, the majority of homes are dysfunctional in a lot of different ways. A lot of people don't want to admit it within family, but things get dysfunctional. Not everything's perfect. Everybody likes to portray like their household and, their lives to be perfect, through Facebook, Instagram. You know what I mean? Yeah. But pain, like that's what consciousness is always going to focus on first. It's like being in a dirty room or in like, in your apartment that obviously needs to get clean. Like you're not going to enjoy this dirty mess. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to enjoy yourself until you clean it. Yeah. You feel me? So, just recognizing pain is growth, man. And like you said it, it's like you got family members that are ages ahead of you. And you're able to see their growth. You're able to see, if you were really around, like the choices that they made in life. and really embrace that. You know what I mean? And just trying to be a blessing, bro. You know, that's one thing that we really got to start embracing is being a blessing rather than asking to be blessed. And I really believe that, you know, you could gain anything that you want in life, like anything that you feel that would, you know, put yourself in a better place of living if you support your brothers, your sisters, your mother, your father. You know, like everybody needs support. Whether y'all are going through, you know, some turmoil or whatever, arguments, you know, why hold on to something that's basically an illusion or a misunderstanding? You know, reach out, rise above and reach out. You know what I mean? Because problems are just usually narratives. You know, it's real. A lot of people go through some real challenges in life, but I can't, you know, I can't trust you if you're not willing to trust me. You know what I mean? And trust is just the foundation of respect.
Yo, and I like that you said that, and I'll tie this back into what we said about pain being, you know, what really gels people together. Maybe it's not pain. Maybe it's being uncomfortable together.
Right.
Because if you look at it from this point of view, right, you can have a dad and his son with I guess no common ground for communication. So whenever they try to communicate with each other, it just falls. Or what you said happens. It feels like it's very small. It's straight to the point. It's always surface. Nothing gets through.
Yeah.
But that's because both sides may have barriers. Now, maybe the relationship is one-sided. Maybe someone's trying to speak. And it's just the other party that's not willing to, I guess, let those guards down. But the second both parties are willing to get uncomfortable in that situation of, okay, I want to get to know you and you want to get to know me. Let's make it happen. It's tough. I wouldn't say that's pain. I would say that's a very uncomfortable like space and situation to be in. And the second both parties can just be in that and just talk about that, you're allowed to grow. They're both allowed to grow from that. And I don't know, and I feel like that can be applied to any area. Like maybe you have a friend that's in the grind with you. It's very uncomfortable being in that grind. You can deal with lack. You can deal with maybe abundance. You know, how do you maneuver through abundance? The both of you. And it's a very uncomfortable space to be in. And the second the two of you can actually reach a common ground that's very balanced, hey, man.
There's a lot of growth with that.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of growth with that. Pain is growth. You know, I keep repeating myself because it's something that's just not really talked about, embraced. A lot of people like to suppress pain. You know, we live in a society where for generations people have, you know, utilized the different vices, different drugs, pills, whatever you want to call it, to kind of like combat or feel like they're doing something to like work with the pain. I feel like I'm at a point in my life right now where I just embrace the pain. You know what I mean? And regardless of my own pain, I realize that the people that I love have their own pain too. You know what I mean? Whether they want to talk about it or not, like, you know, that talking about it sometimes, like, you know, it's cool for a lot of people, you know, they're able to, you know, gain a new awareness of, you know, what they want to do to like create a better situation for them, to get out of that pain. Because you know, no man is, you know, there's a lot of suffering in the world. I believe everybody, you know, suffering is a real thing. That's part of pain. But I do believe that there are breaking points.
Is pain the only way to grow? I mean, not, but
no.
What are the other ways you would say?
I think first just recognizing, you know, what's kind of tethering your life. You know, I mean, a lot of people they might want to just showcase, you know, the fact that they live this perfect life and that, you know, they don't experience any pain and, you know, it's just not an issue to them. that's cool. You know, I salute to you, you know, if you, you know, live like that, you know, in a very comfortable state. But I kind of view life a little differently. I view the universe a little differently. You know, I've realized just looking through history, looking through the present time now, there's a lot of pain in this world. There's a lot of suffering. And to just kind of ignore that and just focus on me and just me, I can't live my life like that. That's just my personal opinion. You know, a lot of my people might view that differently. That's why it's uncomfortable to like talk about certain situations, you know what I mean, that might be going on in the Middle East or might be going on in Haiti, you know, like where real situations where people are like really struggling, you know, and we see that. We see people hungry. You got people in Mississippi eating mud pies.
And the answer lies within the explanation, man. Like you back to what you said. Dude, being uncomfortable is the key. Mm-hmm. And it's not, okay, yo, what's going to make me uncomfortable today? Mm-hmm. It's not that. Mm-hmm. It's the things that do make you feel like that. Mm-hmm. Grinding through them is what entices and opens the door. Feels good. True. It feels great. It's like a hit of dopamine.
Mm-hmm. It probably is, because like it's basically like a challenge,
and then what happens after you complete the challenge?
Scratch it off the list.
And there's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you grow.
Yeah,
you grow.
It's like ladders and shit.
Yep,
you grow.
Yeah, but you still have more to. You know, you still have another something else that's uncomfortable.
That never stops.
But you're closer.
Yeah, it's no closer to anything. It's just
no to the next one. I'm saying
you start.
Like the next obstacle.
It's like the process of shaping or molding who you want to be, you know, in this life, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But the only way that can happen is through, like, it's just
it's like a journey.
Yeah.
There's no destination, basically.
But as long as you have things in your journey that shapes and molds you, maybe, okay, yo, I make this right over here and I learn a couple of these skills and now I add that to my arsenal. My value goes up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, we like to think, especially here, bro, in the West, we think of value as, like money or this or that.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's what's inside your kit that makes you so, you know what I'm saying? Like, some guy can walk in through the door right now, a random guy. To you, you may think, oh, who is this dude? But the second he lists the number of skills and abilities he has in his arsenal, he becomes that much bigger of a person to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
You work where?
You have the keys to what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have the keys to open doors. Right. You have the keys to change my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he only acquired that through being incredibly uncomfortable in multiple areas in his life. Mm-hmm. And yes, it was a struggle. Some of them, he had to go through pain. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, to answer your question, I think, to me at least, I think it stems from being uncomfortable, man. Mm-hmm.
And embracing it,
embracing it. Embracing. Because we can say that.
I would agree.
We can say that all day. We can say, okay, yo, hey, man, you got to go do some things that'll make you uncomfortable, bro. You got to go, if you want to do this or do that, you got to go out there. But it has to hit the awareness. Like, you have to understand what that really means. That means, bro, you literally have to go do it.
You got to want it, too. You got to want to.
You know what? And I'll mention this. I heard this. I don't know if it's true. It doesn't really stick to me. But I'll say it. You don't even have to want it. You just got to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Doing it takes a lot.
Yeah.
It does. I would say you gotta like want it like you want to breathe, because that's how much it takes.
Yeah. Survival. It comes down to a point where you realize, like, life is literally survival.
Yeah.
You know, the food that you eat, the water that you drink, you know, being aware just of where you're at, you know, for your own safety. Because everybody gets caught lacking, you know, in certain situations, you know, and you know, so a lot of people get too comfortable.
Yeah.
And you know, because they don't like being uncomfortable. So, you know, you do have an element of society that, you know, that, they're too comfortable, and then you see like the reactions that the universe gives in certain situations. I'm not saying to live your life in a very fear and like, super conscientious way. That's just like a conceptual way of explaining it. Don't live in and suffer behind the fear, but embrace the uncomfortability and just zoom out and learn, what is it that's making you uncomfortable? Yeah. Where does it root from? Because it's making you uncomfortable, So it's like society never taught us like how to become aware of that, just that simple nature. Because once you embrace the uncomfortability, that's just the first step of climbing the mountain. Yeah. That's the first jump in the cold pool, that a lot of people just don't want to do. But once you are in that cold water, you get used to it. Your mind will tell you different, and we were born into a society where we're so mind controlled. And what I mean by that is they emphasize the mind as the end all to be all, like this is the one thing, like, they put us in school, they put us in daycare because our parents got to work. So now we're relying on other people to teach us like certain fundamentals of early life. Then we get to elementary school, we learn how to be social. We learn to deal with the weirdos of life, you know what I mean? The cool people of life.
Hey, but even school is like a kind of daycare.
Yeah.
And I saw that because like during COVID, bro, when kids were at home, well, people were upset. I mean, they were upset for a lot of reasons, but because the kids, they had nowhere to go, so they had to be at home. So who's gonna take care of them if everyone's working? Yeah. So schools.
And it's definitely a change of pace that that we saw with COVID. The world got shook, the whole world. Everybody had to change their patterns up. It's like instead of Saturday and Sunday being the chill day, it became every day. And
it depends on where you work.
Yeah, and then you start seeing patterns, and I don't know, man. Just back to what I was saying, like it stems from the household. Yeah, exactly. Like early life, home being where the heart is, and a lot of in society where we have to work in order to survive. There could be a lot of like dysfunction in that, because then a lot of people do things they don't want to do in order to support their household, in terms of work, labor. We all want to get to a place in life where, our art provides like sustainability for our lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Which is interesting because that made me think of, because I was thinking earlier about the paradoxes of life. Like there's so many paradoxes, and one of them is right now is like we're working to be comfortable in a sense, right? But in reality, you need to be uncomfortable to get there. Yeah. And there's others. There's like one is like we're all different, right? Like we're all unique individuals, but at the same time we're all human.
That's a fact.
And it's just like there's so many out there too.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell?
Everybody's everybody's working to be free.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So, and you know what? In what places you're the most free? And like,
in the moment.
In a very rural, in a very like, just you, your family, farmland, woods. You know what I'm saying? You're free as a bird, like bro.
Off the grid.
Like free. But the second you you get into a society, so much stuff. You got people trying to sell you stuff all day. You got, you know what I'm saying? And that, what?
That ain't, sometimes that won't allow you to be free.
Bro.
That's just going to create clutter and content.
That, right? And then it's not just that. It's you're being sold stuff. Now there's so much, content and stuff that you're taking in that's showing you, oh wait, hey, what you have is very small. You want to be like this. You know what I'm saying?
Especially on social media. Yeah.
What? Not, it doesn't even have to be social media. It's everywhere now. You go to New York, you got billboard. You have the boards with the everywhere. You have you have advertisement everywhere on the trains, on the buses down here in Miami.
Even on some cars.
On cars.
Yep.
Even the people that you know, they're trying to sell you stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we all know those people.
This is the world that we're in.
Everybody
that's how
hustling.
it works.
And you can't be mad at it. And if you are, then you got your way. So what we do is every single one of us, well, except for the people who I would say, for an example, my family, I'm Haitian descent. So my people came from Haiti. So for them, I think making that making that jump to the States was making it for them. You know what I'm saying? Like in their minds, it's okay, yo, I'm here now. Now I can start a family and work and you know what I'm saying, and get everything that I want for my family. But for us, now that we're here, you know what I'm saying? Like the offspring, we look at it differently. Okay, yo, my version of making it is this. It might be larger, it might be bigger, it might be the same thing that my people have. Like, you know what I'm saying? It might just be a family that I want. But at the end of the day, man, what we want is freedom. And it seems like, at least here, the only way to get it is to work for it. And if you really want it, you gotta get uncomfortable, man.
What would you say freedom would be? Like just financial freedom, or
no? It's being able to do what you want to do.
So
if that
I would
means,
say, like, I don't know if a lot of people,
everybody's freedom is different. Everybody's free is different.
Because some people just want to be comfortable, like literally, like,
because
like retire 40 and like not have to work ever again.
Yeah. So
which is interesting.
And here's what's funny about that, because we'll say, yo, we want this and we want that, but not many of us do it. You know, like we just
a lot of people like to talk about it.
We just talk about it. We just talk about what it is that we do or want to do, but we never get it done. Now it's the people who actually do it that go somewhere. So for an example, I'm here today because my parents actually did it. You know what I'm saying? Like they actually made that. How scary is it to leave what you know behind and go somewhere else?
Yeah.
As an immigrant. How scary is that?
The unknown too.
Damn, especially like back in the day, because you know nothing. You know,
you're
like
dealing with a whole bunch of stuff. You still bro, from back in the old days, you still dealing with racial shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you still what? To make a move like that, bro, it takes a lot of guts, courage, strength to be able to will your family somewhere.
It's uncomfortable.
And very uncomfortable. But being uncomfortable is what got you here.
That's pain. It's part of, you know what I mean? It's all part of, but that's one of the elements of being uncomfortable is pain. And it's irreversible. You know?
I wanted to hit on something you said, that people, like everyone's always saying that, like their dreams or what they want to do and they never do it. And I actually made a note because I was thinking earlier, I was like, dang, like we just get lost in this society, like in this system, you know, like because we have to like either pay our bills or we get like maybe we have a child or something like that, and we have responsibilities, and you get lost in that, and like you lose that person who wanted to do those things, and you lose like those dreams,
and that's why a support system is important, because that's your anchor back. That's you finding your way again. That's that lighthouse that's always watching out for you. Yeah. So you know what it is that you want. You know, like the goals that you want to acquire in your life. But you're just one person. You're going to get steered off track. Things are going to happen. Some days are going to be hard. Some days are going to be really hard. Yeah. Your mind get cluttered and clouded by that. You forget. But with that support system, that base that's there to reassure you, hey, yo, things might be tough right now, but you got this.
And they keep
going.
You in check
keep going. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. That could be your family. That could be your friends. That could be people you don't know.
That could be like, you. And what I mean by you is recognize. And listen, that you know, I'm not like a super religious person. Like my mom is Catholic. My father is atheist. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was born into this world. In a while, you know, some people might call it dysfunctional. I really embraced it because it's like you have to embrace differences in society. You know, it's crazy how opposites attract. You know, like my mom is black. She's Cape Verdean, and my father's white. You know, and it's just like they met at a time and even in a place where like that's just not like the norm. You feel what I'm saying? And especially like their religious points. So touching back on what I mean by trusting you, I believe we're all gods.
Yes.
I really believe we're all gods. And rather than, relying on what, just going off of what you said, you know what I mean? A support system like family, friends, close relationships, a lot of the times they're not always going to be there. And when you call them up, they got a whole situation that they're bent over in. So now your energy, your spirit is kind of bonded into that. Yeah. So now it's like, fuck my problems. I got to go help out my boy out. You know what I mean? Damn. And that's going to throw me off. Isn't that crazy how life works? You got to take care of your own shit. You call your boy up, yo, I need help. He's like, nah, I need more help.
Damn, that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Imagine your whole support system getting lost in the system, but they're supposed to keep you.
So that support system, it never leaves you. It's just that our mind gets distracted by the actual problem. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? That supports to me, support is love. God is love. It's all intertwined, and in whichever order you want to put it, it all comes together at the end of the day. Yeah. And we were born alone, obviously, coming out of our mother with our father being there, hopefully, you know what I mean? And we die alone a lot of the times. We may not want to, but in all reality, you have to be willing to accept that reality. There's not always going to be somebody there for you. People will turn your back on you. You might think that they respect you. The people that you really respect, you might think that they respect you. And life, at least in my case, has shown me that that's not always the case. Mm-hmm. We see it countless amounts of time. But the true support, lies in the divine, in that source, in your soul. If I will, like, that's really where it comes from. That's where your support for somebody else comes from. Mm-hmm. Therefore, you have it within your own soul to, gain willpower. You know what I mean? From that godly intuition. And that, to me, that makes you a god. And like I said, that's the reason why I started off my point by saying, like, I'm not super religious. I respect all religions. Like I said, my mother's Catholic. I got a grandmother that's Christian. My best friend, who I call my brother, is Muslim. So I respect all facets of religion, But I do see in cases and instances in life where religion can be very destructive. Mm-hmm. Look at all these wars that are going on in history and society. Your religion doesn't agree with my religion, therefore I'm going to kill you. Yeah. And people accept that. Mm. You got people who are going to church and they're fighting over the parking spot outside of the church. Literally fighting, arguing. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what's the real goal here? What's the purpose,
They just want to feel good.
We want to feel good on a Sunday, so we eat breakfast with the family, right afterwards, and go about our day and see the, and ignore the suffering that's really going on in the world. Yeah. People may want to talk about it, but then there's always like that uncomfortability within their own. Mm-hmm. I don't want to feel their pain. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to feel their pain.
Yo.
And
wow.
We look at life, man. Look at life with religion.
That's what addiction.
It goes with race too. One thing I could say with religion, like one thing that it has done to improve the growth within society is, accept the fact that it don't matter what race or gender you are. If you're a religion, you could be accepted. But then there's so much else that goes along with it. You know what I mean? There's all these like barriers and, walls and boundaries when it comes to certain things. So I realized, listen, we're all gods. Not everybody, You know, I feel like everybody has the ability. I sound egoic by saying that, because there's a lot of weirdos in life. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that do weird shit, and they may not know it. You know, God forgive them, for they know not what they do. You know, I really, you know, that's one thing that I could take from religion is that saying right there, because that pretty much means that, you know, they're unconscious. They don't know what they're doing until they wake up.
Bro, it's what you use to relate to the next person. So,
it's a fact.
Like religion could play a big role onto that, right? So everybody is Christian. I walk into this church, everybody's this. Yeah, I am too. Now I feel like I'm connected to you.
Comfortable.
Connection.
Yes, with connection comes being comfortable.
Well, and we need connection as like humans, bro.
Yes.
And even all animals.
So,
all animals, like.
But this same thing is going on now, right? So you can find it in every sense of the word, like
every subset of fucking the world.
It's in, you know, the internet. It's in the metaverse. It's in
whatever you like, right? Anything.
Now it's also in your culture. So check this out, which is very, very interesting. You know, we can sit here all day and talk about how, we're not really paying attention to anyone else's pain, to everybody else's pain. It's just my pain. It's just your pain. It's pain. But everybody else, nah. Like we never pay attention to that stuff. Now the reason for it is because there's no connection. There's no connection to. There's nothing that ties you, that tethers you to that hurt that someone else may be feeling, because you won't even know it until, you know, you have this sense of.
And I would say there's two things that play a role: desensitization. I can't say the word.
Desensitizing.
Yeah, desensitizing.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
I gotta say, like, cause you see, like, if you're on maybe let's say the news or somewhere where like you see people in pain often, you're like desensitized to it, you know. And then also back again to like people get caught up in their own lives of whatever they're doing. Okay. And they're like, oh, I gotta go to work,
so
or you know,
shit to worry about.
So check this out, man.
No connection makes it even even worse.
What my mother would do is, like, she loves the news, right? She would always watch the news growing up, always. And right before I left the house, she would always tell me, "Hey, yo, be careful, such and such and such. I saw it on the news." And then I'd be like, "Yo, like,
that's a crazy way to get raised."
What? And I'd always hear that. But check it. It resonated heavy with her because who are they showing you on the news? Showing me. You know what I'm saying? There's a tether. There's a connection. Yeah. And it hits heavier for her. So anytime there's something that's happening maybe with a different group of people, it doesn't hit as much. You can't relate to it. You know, culture plays a big role.
It's a fact.
And that's why, like when you said this, when you were telling me, you said your father was white and your mother was...
She's black.
She's
black skin though.
Right?
That's why, you know.
So that hit me, bro. That hit me. Because now I got to ask you one simple question. Do you know of either of the two coaches? Do you know anything about the two coaches?
Well, here's the thing. My father comes from just two, you know, white parents. You know what I mean? I don't think they got any, like...
From where?
From Florida. You know what I mean? Like crackers. You feel me? Respectfully. Like they crackers. But they are very like, they're really cool, respectful white people. You know, and I hate to just, you know, explain it like that, but you know what I mean? That's just the world that we live in, you know, and that's kind of what conceptual reality, you know, gave us to like just kind of view race. But yeah, they are very beautiful people. You know, I've never got a hint that they were any sort of racist or like had any pride in being white. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Now that's just my viewpoint.
Is there? You said they didn't have any pride in being white.
I don't know.
No, but that's weird though.
That's like, a real thing though.
Because I've had
but like.
And I'll explain why.
Like, because other I'd say other like races and ethnicities have pride in their.
Yeah. Racial, like honoring your race. No, for sure.
Like, you know.
But I never got that side of them.
Yeah.
See, now here's the thing with my mother. Now, she was adopted in Boston, Massachusetts, in like 1968. You understand what I'm saying? In the 60s. You know,
and that's 2 years after the civil rights.
Exactly. You feel what I'm saying?
I think
she was adopted into an Italian family, beautiful family. You know, by my grandfather and my grandmother, who I really call like my grandfather and my grandmother, you know what I mean? Even though they're not blood. So I didn't really know, you know, too much about her actual bloodline. I believe she's Cape Verdean because, you know, majority of black people in Boston are from, you know, are Cape Verdean.
Okay.
And I was more so interested, you know, in my mother's story because it's like she grew up in an all-white town with all-white family members. You know what I mean? She experienced the uncomfortability of just, you know, being a black woman at such an early age, you know, to the point where, like, she, you know, my grandmother would buy her black dolls to play with.
Wow.
My mother is, you know, she's growing up. She's a baby too in the family. So she's seeing all her older siblings play with white dolls. Yeah. White this, white that. You know what I mean? Blue eyes. So it's like, it's uncomfortable. And you know, they would ride through certain neighborhoods and she would tell me how, like, you know, her brothers would be like assholes, you know. I mean, listen, God forgive them for they know not what they do. They're really good. You know, I love my uncles. I love my mother's family. But yeah, like they would be riding through, you know, black neighborhoods and, you know, they'd be like to my mother, like, yo, look at your people. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it's like just that, you know, to absorb all that at such a young age, like that just, you know, I had to embrace my mother's pain. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. Because I have been in situations where, you know, I'm 7 years old, we're riding at Disney World, and like my mother's just nervous to pull over to ask for directions, you know, in certain like areas of Florida. You're seeing Confederate flags and shit like that. And even for me, like, you know, you don't really see too many people, at least in Florida or I don't know, in certain surroundings that I've been in life that, you know, they have like the same type of situation like me, you know what I mean? Where my you know, their mom is black, father white. You know, I think you see it more now. You know, the universe is definitely coming together. You know, we have a lot more of a forward, you know, thinking society, I want to say, in today's time, but especially in different parts of the world. But yeah, at that time, like, it was just so interesting to me, and I was way more just kind of, I mean, like how we started off this conversation, like just consciousness focusing on pain first. You feel what I'm saying? My father didn't have no pain growing up, you know, as a white person. He grew up around all white people. Yeah. My mother was the only black person in her family in an all-white neighborhood. She got called the hard ER multiple times. Yeah. You feel me? Where my uncles had to step in. You know, that's why I really love the family that she was adopted to, because they really stepped up. You know, they defended her in times where it was needed. Because, yeah, you got, you know, grown men will call a little black girl the ER. You know, that's happened. And it grew me to appreciate, like, my grandfather who adopted my mother. Like, here's this Italian dude. He was like 23 years old when he adopted my mother. He just served in the Navy. Like, he had no reason to do that. You know what I mean? I mean, he experienced hate from both white people and black people. White people were like, why did you adopt this black girl? Black people were like, why did you adopt, you know what I mean? This black girl, like, this don't make, something ain't right here. Like, this don't make sense. And, you know, he embraced that pain. You know, and that's why I love, you know, God rest his soul. Shout out to my grandfather. Like, he really embraced my mother, lived with us, you know. And, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, you know, to see my mother now. She's thriving now. She's got her own business that she's had for about 10 years now. And, yeah, she's doing great in life. You know, she went through a battle, you know, being a woman, a black woman, in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Trying to get the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? Went to Italy, you know, to go to art school and come out here to Miami and really make a life for herself and provide a life for me. You know, I couldn't see myself living anywhere else, man. I love Miami. This is my home. This is my heart. I used to live in New Jersey for a good part of my life, in West New York. But yeah, like it just, you know, I've been able to like cherish that pain that she went through, and just embrace it. You know what I mean? And I love my father so much too, for you know, to be able to, you know, get with her.
Yeah.
Being an all-white man in an all-white family, like, you know what I mean? There could be a lot of judgment, but thankfully, you know, they're very like hippie like. You feel what I'm saying? They're super hippie white people. Yeah. Shout out to my father's side of the family.
Shout out.
You feel me? They're all artists. And I just embrace that in life. You know, I really embrace the family that I came from. You know, I honor the pain. I honor, you know, just the history of where I come from. And I feel like that's us as men, you know, as growing men, like that's the one thing that we could do is just honor those values. You know what I mean? Not suppress it or forget it. Because you got a lot of people that throw a guard up when you have certain conversations about race.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They always got something to defend. And they're like, no, we're not racist. Or white people aren't racist. I just say, listen, you're not racist. You know, prove to me. Like, I get it. You were born in this world with this form. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But again, this is just form.
Yeah.
Why do we emphasize? Why were we brought in a world where they embrace and emphasize on form, looks, how you look,
because we like the label,
look, rather than spirit. You feel me?
We like to label things.
We like to label things, and that's just
it's easier for memories too.
Concepts, conceptual thinking. Yeah. You know, it was a forward step in mankind. Conceptual thinking could allow you to build a building. You know what I mean? It's definitely a forward step in human mankind. You know, it's bound to happen. But if that's all you know, if that's the limit, then that's destructive. Super destructive, because with a conceptual mind, with a thinking mind, you could build a nuclear bomb. Yeah. As we've seen before. We live in a world where humans are killing each other, blowing each other up. We got the power to blow up the world how many times?
No, because we're not operating from like that connection that we had to our previous generation. And I like to bring it up like this. Yo, the moment we're born, we can either choose to start a completely new life, start a new path, or pick up the baton that was left by the generations behind us. Mm-hmm. It makes it a lot easier to pick up that baton, because it's not a race that's ending, but it's a race that continues to go forward. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the second you realize that you have a past of like a lineage of just help, hope, support behind you, yo, you can start to move towards a better, brighter future, you know, with connection. Because everybody would start to move from that because we all have it. And we'll realize that if you go back enough, you'll realize we all came from the same.
Yeah. We all came from the same cloth. I mean, just even looking at animals, you know, every animal has two eyes. You feel me? A nose and a mouth, if you really think about it. And just zooming out, you know, and looking just how the world operates, it's very, like, bizarre. But I get it, though. Like, it you know, you can't just, you know, because people are doing one thing, that doesn't mean, like, you have to do it or you should, you know, get involved in just certain patterns that everyday people get involved into. You know, yeah, we were born in this world. How do you react to it? You know, how do you respond rather than react? Yeah. I don't like to say react, because react could be very destructive too. You know, you could react with emotion, which, you know, we've seen. I mean, look at today's jails. You know what I mean? A lot of people are in there because they made a simple mistake in like the matter of minutes because they reacted. You know what I mean? Like argument, misunderstanding.
Can change like that.
Yeah. Now you're serving the rest of your life in there behind bars. You know, that's a whole different challenge. You know, and shout out to everybody who's locked up right now. Not everybody. You feel me? But people who got a good heart, you know, shout out to all the gods. You feel me? There's a lot of weirdos in prison right now. There's a lot of weirdos still walking in life, but you know, just we have to create heaven on earth. And that's what, you know, to touch on your question on what freedom is. I believe freedom is heaven. Freedom is space for me. Because I can't be free if I got clutter. You understand? In my life, you know, things that I might be unconsciously clinging on to. That's freedom for me. Space. And that's just awareness for me. You know, we were born on this planet to create, and we've seen how people create. Like I said, with just cities, cars, tools. Like, this is all advancements in life, which are great, but we also see a lot of the negatives. Yeah. And people are continuing to push a lot of the negative creations, guns.
How do you think we could change that?
How do we change like negative creation?
Yeah, like how do we switch it up to more
awareness.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Being aware that they're making
exactly,
or just, not even making, like using it in a negative way,
right?
You know?
Because a lot of people, you know, listen, I have nothing against guns. You know, my family feels a little differently. Like my father, he's super liberal, which I respect because I'm very liberal. But he believes like guns should be completely illegal, and I'm like, Dad, you know, like that I wish that was the case, but it's like with drugs. Like you make if just because you make something illegal doesn't mean it's gonna go away. Yeah.
When in the U.S., it's too late to be honest.
It's way too late. This whole U.S. was built off of guns.
It's way too late.
You know what I mean?
And even then, like I get the point of having a gun because it's like, well, not now, but like in like theoretically,
right?
It's like if the government wanted to take control and like become like a dictatorship, the only thing that would stop or prevent that would be like a war or like fighting, and you would need guns. And that's why they have it in the amendment.
Because
like,
what do they got?
Right to bear arms.
They got guns.
Yeah.
They made the guns. The guns weren't just part of nature. You know what I mean? When the earth, the universe,
and that's how they established. That's how they got like the freedom. Like the United States beat the UK with guns.
Yeah. The redcoats. You know what I mean? All that. That shit is real. Like, what history taught us is it really happened. And it sucks that we have to live with the repercussions of shit that happened in the 1700s. You know what I mean? That like we already live on stolen land. Something they never, like, I remember going to school in kindergarten, like my first step in school, and us embracing Thanksgiving. You feel me? I hate Thanksgiving.
On Columbus Day?
Columbus Day. Yeah. Day off. We love that day off. You understand? But it's like, why? You know, like you realize, like, even like the true story of Pocahontas. That shit is bizarre. Like, she was 11 years old and Captain John Smith was like 45 years old. Yeah. That's a fact. I learned that in this history class I took in college. Like, it took me to go to college to realize like certain elements of history that were just completely bizarre, like weird. You know what I mean? And that to me is like, you know, that should be an opportunity for people to like wake up and like provide some change, you know? Like, the past is the past. The past is pain. You feel me? And that just goes along with like what we're talking about here is like, how do you grow out of, you know, elements of pain? And yeah, man, it's wild, bro. You know, to look back at the world and, you know, how far we've come. I feel like, you know, society is you know, there are people in society that are doing great. You know what I mean? That are awakening, providing an effort to wake other people up so that we could have a functioning, respectful society with support. But then you have sides that, you know, they only want to provide for them and their family. You know what I mean? And ignore the suffering of people who live down the block from you. You know, who live in the projects. You know what I mean? And they're kind of stuck because it's like, you know, it's just it's crazy.
You know what's crazy about that too is like people will say like they're all for like helping people and stuff like that, and like giving to the poor or be helpful, but like when push comes to shove and like it's time for like the money to go, like people are like,
yeah, I don't know, I don't got it. I'm in a Mercedes Benz in traffic.
Yeah, like
he's just asking for $1.
And I say that because you'll see like there be a vote for making affordable housing in a certain community, and it's like a community where people are like, oh yeah, we should give to the poor, you know, or it's like it's a progressive community, but then they vote and like having what's the word again, affordable housing in your community. That tends to bring down the property value of the homes and stuff. Yeah. So people are like,
I don't know.
They should help them, but I don't know about here. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It comes down to like who should be helping, like who's really helping, who's really paying taxes to help. They making the middle class do it. That's why we don't have a middle class. That's why you see people frustrated. You know what I mean? And it sucks that we're only limited to two choices, a two-party system. You know what I mean? Coke and Pepsi. You feel me? Yeah. It's like one acts like they want to help out the poor when, bro, people been poor for years now. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't seen no results. And then you got the other side where it's like they just want to continue to push like the whole narrative of, you know, everybody's born equal and blah, blah, blah. It's true. We're all human, but a lot of us were born into a battlefield, and not a lot of people could relate to being in that position. Yeah, that's why, you know, you see cases where like the rich aren't doing anything. Yeah, you getting billions and billions and billions of dollars.
It's because they can't relate. Yeah, as you said, no one relates. You can preach, you know, that you've been through all of these struggles and this is the life that you've lived. You can tell that story all day to the day you run out of breath. Yeah. But until, I don't know, because you don't necessarily have to be put in that position. But until they listen to you, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah. And it's so hard to get a voice if you're not there, if you're not at that stature. It's so hard to get a voice.
And it's crazy, bro. Like, cause I mean, if you're talking about like the really rich, like they got more money than they could ever spend, bro. Yeah.
They got so much money that their outfits look horrible. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? They rather not. Yeah, like they rather not dress. They rather, and I get it. That's cool too. But like, you're old. You have, you know, like you're old with all this money. You might have a family that you're taking care of, but let's be real, bro. Look at a lot of these rich kids. You know what I mean? Who really, you know, they might have experienced some like pain mentally, you know what I mean, towards like their father who was never there, whatever, that type of pain, you know.
Father was never there.
Yeah, like.
Although I mean, I would say though, their pain, it's still their pain though, you know, like
it's still pain, for sure.
Because like, let's say it's still like they still have something that has been the most painful in their life. Yeah, and that hurts just as much as like somebody who's gone through like some terrible shit, because you know that's like their maximum amount of pain. Yeah, it's probably, I mean, you could look at it and be like, oh, that's not that painful, right? I've gone through so much shit, but to them that's like their maximum amount. Yeah, so it's.
But put those kids in the projects. Yeah, put those rich kids in the projects and look how they react. Yeah, they probably wouldn't want to like help out, you know, when they have the means to. And I mean, I'm not gonna like just say all people are like that who got money, but we see it in today's society where people are still struggling. You know, people in their 40s, 50s, you know, who are breeding in kids to be into the battlefield. You know, where it's not even safe outside no more. You know what I mean? Like even with this COVID shit, you know, you got, you know, households just being extra dysfunctional. Because, you know, mentally, financially, it's just not right. And a lot of people carry that pain and them not even knowing it's pain. You know, them just building it up to where it becomes like emotion and anger, and then they want to take it out instead. You know, they want to take it out on an outside force. And that's just, I mean, we see it every day. You know, you watch the news and you know, that going off of what you said about, you know, your mother feeling, you know, certain types of way of you stepping outside, like that shit is real. You know, it's a battlefield that, you know, we have to come into contact with the demons in life that are outside, you know what I mean? Up to no good, selling drugs, killing each other. Then you got the police. That whole, you know what I mean, situation where it's like they got their own pain. They getting paid like $30,000 a year, and it's frustrating, bro. You know, and it's like there's a fear with, you know, there's a fear with everything.
Man, we're still very early, bro. Like change is happening, but it's gonna happen a little bit slow.
Change is interesting, bro. Like, cause it happens slow, and then one day it's like bam, like oh.
It's never like that. It's never like bam.
Well, one day you wake up and it's like it looks bam to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if it's brought to your attention, if it's brought, you know what I'm saying. If it's now if it's now in your awareness, then yeah, it may seem like that. Mm-hmm. But just to put it into perspective, just 100 years ago, it's a whole different world outside, you know? Like, it's very different.
What's that?
Or bet.
In the early 20s?
Bet.
1920s?
50, 60, 70 years ago. It's a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Whole different world
outside.
Imagine 50 years.
But it's changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's changing. So now you're getting more like, you know, I mean, with the change, there's going to be pushback. There's going to be people who don't want to change. Mm-hmm. You know, the people who are more comfortable with what we had before because it worked for them. Mm-hmm. You know?
Change is uncomfortable.
It is.
For sure.
It is, man. And
that goes back to what, you know, the foundation of, you know, our message, what you know, what we were saying. Like, there's no growth without some sort of change. You know, then you're just living on a pattern like lifestyle. And that's what a lot of people will carry the same job for their whole life. You know what I mean? You know, look at time as like, be a slave to time, you know, right? Like, I got to work Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday is like my freedom. When every day, beyond whether you got to work, have fun, like, everybody stresses to do things. Like, it's almost like we're human doings in this society.
Yeah.
No one wants to just be a being like us right now. We're here on this earth in this present moment. Time is irrelevant. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Time gives us, you know, a way to utilize our mind to get certain things done in a constructive way. But a lot of the times you see people just living on the same pattern like lifestyle, you know, being attached to time, not wanting to change, not wanting to, just get out of, you know, their comfort zone. And I think there's a lot of blessing that comes with being uncomfortable, having change in your life. That's growth for me. Growth is a never-ending thing, you know, regardless of age. And that's another topic, too, where, you know, people are just so, like, confined and consumed by the pressure of getting older. We see it with men. We see it with women. You know what I mean? Like, it's unfortunate because we do see, like, a lot of people living the same life, you know, at, like, 60 as they were when they were, like, 20 or whatever. And, I mean, listen, that's cool. As long as you're not causing no pain or suffering, you know, to another person, do whatever you want to do. But I feel like us as human beings, you know, as spiritual beings, we got to, you know, change certain things. Yeah. You feel me? In order to, like, create heaven on earth. Literally, rather than, you know, looking at some sort of futuristic or outside, you know, place to be in.
Metaverse.
Metaverse. I mean, isn't that
Metaverse
crazy?
on Earth.
You know, that shit's really going on. 2022. Yeah. You know, like we just got the ability to FaceTime people. we got the ability to
It's
have
not
the
stopping.
internet to like, yeah.
It's not stopping. That comes with the growth. That comes with the evolution of
Technological
humanity.
advancement.
And yeah, that's a part of it, man.
That's
Like,
part of growth,
wonder
for sure.
that's a part of it. Like, remember,
What
okay,
are the other civilizations out there?
what do you mean?
Similar trajectory. If they have a similar trajectory.
Civilizations?
Yeah, like in outer space.
Oh, you mean like other
It's just,
life and shit?
Yeah.
I believe that too.
I wonder.
I mean,
they
maybe.
probably have similar trajectory.
They might just be a million years more advanced than us. To the point where like they're looking at us like, damn, they are so behind, bro. And we might not even want to get tapped in with them because just look at them. They killing each other.
They're looking at us like we look at cavemen and stuff.
Yeah.
However you want to see it, because
Straight up.
it could be whichever way. It could be,
Yeah.
We're the most advanced at this moment,
Which is crazy.
or it could be
Yeah.
another one is, or there's like
could be a
tens
lot,
of
yeah.
thousands of us. But it's like you wouldn't know because, and I'll just speak in, I'll use a concept here, but just for us being here in this moment right now, this is for the most part, this is the life that we know about. This is the only one that we know of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it's always been like this. From the moment you were conceived, brought into this existence, all the way up until now. Everything that you've learned about history has been told to you, right? You didn't
Written by the victor.
You weren't there.
Yeah.
You just popped into space, and then you're gonna pop out, right? Whatever that means. Afterwards, anything can happen. But in this moment, as of right now, we might be the most advanced one.
For sure.
Or we might not be.
Because we're here. The future is an illusion.
Yeah.
People might want to plan it out. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? We might there might excuse me. There might have been others that were super advanced, but we missed them because we've only been around for like as a civilization probably like 10,000, 15,000 years. Like as civilized people.
Probably.
It's very
Maybe
young.
it might be like another 200,000 years.
And you know there's planets like millions of light years away and shit.
Yeah, but if they got the technology, they could zoom. Because we already doing that, bro. We already got these
Zoom.
people trying to do some light speed travel. Come on, you know science.
Yeah.
Every like form of anything is advancing on this planet. Like, just because we don't pay attention to it doesn't mean it's not there.
It's active.
They're doing scientific advancements. They're doing space travel already. You know, for me at least, I'm more focused on the entertainment side of things. So I'm looking at the advancements in that. You may be looking at some human, you know what I'm saying? Like there's stuff we're cyborgs. Halfway. Like we right there.
We don't get there. Yeah.
We right there.
It's gonna be cool.
Years away, bruh. Literally. Like, and this is not new to anybody because they've been feeding you this since you were small. With sci-fi television. With movies. So it's already it's custom like it's nothing new. It's nothing out of the ordinary because you've seen it before. We've showed it to you, right? Okay, so we're good. We're good. We can make this happen.
And now I'd say with the metaverse is a new thing, and they're slowly what's it called, injecting that into the mainstream, I guess. Like that idea, the concept.
Yeah, but that's the next
It's the
step
cool
of
thing.
it. It's always like because we spoke about it, right?
Yeah.
The metaverse stems from the internet. It's a upgrade of it.
Yeah,
If that
the
makes sense.
next evolution.
It's the next evolution of the internet. Then from the metaverse, it'll probably be the everybody verse or some shit where we're all connected on some alien shit and we can all speak to each other.
Yeah.
Telepath. You know what I'm what? But nobody thinks about
Shout out
that.
to Neuralink.
Nobody thinks about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Nobody thinks about, okay, yo, if you have a chip, this chip is automatically connected to the strongest broad connection on the planet.
Yeah.
And now you can you can speak
Yeah.
to people. What?
Yeah.
But because we're in that growth and we're changing with it, it's natural and normal to us.
Yeah.
You know, like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's if you use it. You know, I think. Listen, everything in moderation. You know,
Bro.
we've seen society on drugs. You know what I mean? We've seen society use things and abuse things.
I'm sorry to
and
say,
that'll be
This
man.
metaverse shit.
Forever.
I don't know how I feel.
I'm
You know
sorry
what I
to
mean?
say, bro. Like it doesn't matter if you use it or not. It's gonna be it's gonna be the change of it. Like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want it, then you'll be the old head. Like, nah, I ain't doing that.
With no cell phone.
No, I ain't doing.
The one with the flip phone. The one that pull out the flip phone.
We're all
I'm probably gonna be like that though.
The world just moves, bro.
I'd rock a flip phone.
Word, a little razor.
Nah, I'd want an iPhone with just calling.
That's not gonna happen. You wanna know why?
No,
because all of the executives that you gotta work with or whatever, they all got this.
Call my assistant.
Hey man, just blink at me and call me or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, straight what? Up. You blink at somebody, you got all the information. Like,
straight up.
It's gonna be the cutting edge technology that everybody wants.
Yeah.
And if you want to play game in this world, you gotta play game. You gotta play ball.
Yeah.
But if not, as I said, if you want to be free, you want that freedom,
just dip out to another place.
Slide.
Yeah. It's all about intuition.
Catch me in Costa Rica.
That's a fact. Real quick.
We out there chilling.
0.2 seconds.
That's funny, bro.
You know, but yeah, I think it definitely comes down to, you know, your intuition, the intention on whatever you want to do in life, you know, as long as you're not causing no pain and suffering. You know, my only worry is, like, you know, we've seen things get abused, coming down to like what I just talked about, guns, drugs. Those things, if you just sat them on the table, they're not going to use themselves or just start shooting. It's the person. Yeah, like, I got a gun over here. If I had a gun over here, that it wouldn't just start shooting.
That's hilarious.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people want to blame it on that. They want to blame that as the issue. We got to get rid of it. Now you're just making the wrong people, you know what I mean? Oh, criminals run it. You know what I mean? So I really believe it comes down to the person, you know, using and their state of being awake and aware. A lot of people just don't know how to do it. You know, a lot of people just want to feel good. A lot of people want to feel, you know, a certain, like, get back feeling.
Which is
like
crazy.
If somebody did something to me, I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go
get back. Yeah, and look what that leads to, bro.
That's crazy.
You know,
wanting to feel good just ends up making you feel bad.
Yeah, and what does that fit? Listen, I know what my soul is attracted to, you know, and you know, but then there's like egoic. You understand what you know? Then ego comes into play.
Well, speaking on that, I wanted to hit on the ego. I want to ask you guys: do you guys often do like an inventory check on like your ego / what you identify with?
For sure.
Cause it's I'd say it's super easy to see it in other people, but to see it in yourself, you really gotta like take a step back and like analyze what you're doing,
what's
and
going
what you've been doing, and how you see yourself.
Yeah, what you've been doing is one thing, but moving forward, I feel like, damn man, this day and age, like we spoke about before, all of us want to like fall into this group. You know what I'm saying? Like we all want to be able to connect to people, to other people like us. For the most of us, not all of us, but for the most of us, we always want to be with people who are similar to us.
Yeah, right. We want to be right.
Right. What you do is subconsciously, because this doesn't happen consciously. If you want to be like something, you start doing similar things to the people or the group that's doing that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And this is funny because I just had a conversation with a good friend, and we were talking about the entertainment industry and how Cardi B or Meg, they have this city girl, hot girl thing going on. And the gentleman that I was on the phone with, he told me that he was in a group of women, or he was talking to a group of women, and they were all talking about how, oh, hot girl summer or the city girl is this, like it's a representation of, you know, the sexy girl on the beach getting all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, I don't want no dude, like whatever.
To a concept
stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then he sat back and he explained to them, no, that's entertainment. That's how they want you to see them. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of content that they're producing or they're putting out. But in actuality, they have very healthy relationships at home. You know, Cardi is married.
Yeah.
Cardi has a kid. Cardi has beliefs and ideals that she goes by. You know what I mean? And they're hers. Everything that she puts out musically, sonically, is entertainment. And the girls couldn't like wrap their heads around.
It's just
that.
a marketing campaign,
Basically. But entertainment is
Way to make
like
money.
that.
Yeah.
Entertainment is like
Yeah,
that. And it's the people who choose to stay true to their art, or the people who kind of don't and just give you whatever.
Yeah.
So when he told me that, and to reel it in and bring it back, it makes perfect sense, bro. Like, if you have your ideals, your boundaries, your beliefs set in play,
yeah,
and you know who you are and what you'll like abide by, the things that you'll do, the things that you won't do, then you're more, how do I say, you're more aligned with who you are. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are. Whereas if anybody can sway you, if anybody can change your beliefs, if you can fit into this group today and then fit into another tomorrow, you're the guy who's bendable. You're the person who, you know what I'm saying? You don't know who you are. You don't have that sense of self.
You're looking for identity.
Your ego is forever changing. You know what I'm saying? Your ego can sway you easily. You'll find yourself in a whole new situation tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whereas if you know yourself, if that makes sense, then you'll know what you're more liable to do. You'll know how to kind of bring that back, you know, when things get a little crazy. Wait, nah, I don't want to do that. You know, this doesn't feel right with me.
yeah.
You know, compared to the person who just find themselves and
They're looking for identity.
they're looking for something.
I mean, listen, you know, it's like the old saying. It's like when food and shelter are taken care of, one just looks for identity. When you're hungry, there's only one thing on your mind.
Damn.
You got to eat.
That's deep.
When you got to live, you're looking for shit. You know what I mean? Nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be nobody. But then just look at society. You got like cults and leaders and like kings. You know, everybody wants to call themselves a king. I identify as a king. Like, we've heard that for ages.
Yeah.
But with a king, I mean, that's the biggest example of ego right there. Because if you're a king, then there's obviously people underneath you.
There's peasants.
So whatever. People, you know what I mean? They're underneath you.
Yeah.
And you're at the top. And that's something that they've been emphasizing for generations, for years. Wars have happened over who's the king of what. Now, my whole thing is, I'm a God. We're all gods. You feel me? That's how I'm trying to live, because gods are just they're beings of presence that want to create elements of positivity, of change, of growth, support, love. I believe God is love. You know, I don't look at God as like this manly figure, woman figure, like somebody that I could relate to that looks like me. Like, I mean, like, look how they painted Jesus as a white, blonde-haired man, blue eyes in the Middle East. Like, completely white skin, and everybody else tan.
I seen him with a six-pack in some pictures.
Six-pack.
That man
They got be built.
Like, you know, they say he loves football and all that. I'm like, bro, like,
he was a Rams
fan. They gave him a look, and
he liked football.
it's like, bro, I don't understand how they came to that realization of like, this is who Jesus is. And, you know, listen, I get it, but at the end of the day, I believe us being all gods, that makes us equal here in the present moment. There's no one underneath me.
Yeah.
You know, there's no one. I mean, there's no one above. Like, you know, I believe in me. Like, I believe in God. And believing in God is believing in the love that I have for my own life, the people that brought me into this life, the people that need my support, that need my love. You know, love is more than just saying like, yo, I love you, or I got love for you. Like, love is like real support. Love is really being there for somebody without even talking to them. Just being in a place of presence. You know, somebody might need that. You may, you know, it might make you feel uncomfortable or whatever. But that's what love is, you know, and that's the whole thing. A lot of people, unfortunately, they were brought into a world, they were brought into a battlefield where like love is just overshadowed by mind activity.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I was touching on in the beginning, is like we were brought into this world where we're so emphasized with the mind, and that you are, therefore you think, therefore you are, blase blah, and like
you think you are your thoughts and shit.
Exactly, and your parents flooding you with information, and you see how they carry it on because they have like an identification with certain values. Mm-hmm. Which, listen, if that's all you know, if you're identified with those values, then there's limits to that. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? But with real awareness, if I'm my mind, then how am I seeing my mind? You feel what I'm saying? There's something watching my mind. You know what I mean? If I'm my mind, then I'm not thinking. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just like so pulled to the grip. And then that's a distorted reality. That's an illusion way to live life. But now if I'm aware, if I'm an aware being, if I'm truly conscious, I'm able to watch and utilize my mind. Yep. You know what I mean? As an instrument, as a way to like build. You feel me? Because I don't believe love comes from the mind. I believe love comes from like the divine, the source. You feel me? This true.
I got a quote for you, bro.
Yeah.
Wisdom tells me I am nothing, and love tells me I am everything, and in between the two, my life flows.
Can you repeat that real quick?
Wisdom tells me I am nothing. Mm-hmm. Love tells me I am everything, and between the two, my life flows.
That's a fact. I like that one. That. Listen, you live your life like that, I don't believe you'll have any problems with anybody. You know, like people are always gonna, you know, and you live like that. You know, you'll have people who will learn from that. Some people might want to leech off of it. You know, you got to be careful with people like that too. People want to leech off of your wisdom. People want to leech off of your love. Be careful of your circle, you know what I mean, before they hurt you, you know. And that's one of like the lessons of life too. It's just being aware constantly. And if you know automatically who you are, what your soul's attracted to, that's always, happiness is always going to come about. You know what I mean? Rather than just like striving and looking for it. Yeah. You feel me? That's already within, you know, the emotions, this, what makes you happy, that's in here. Heaven is in here. It's just that we're so consumed and cluttered with work, school, problems. They're all entities. They're all energetic entities, as I like to put it.
I want to add something to the mix, and you guys let me know how you feel about this. So, let's bring football into the discussion, right? And I'll make
Which
this
one, American?
American football. Yeah. You guys
NFL.
know, like, let's say, all right, let's just use the position of quarterback.
Yeah.
Would you guys call yourselves quarterbacks? Would you?
You know, football is an interesting sport because it's like you can't really compare a quarterback to a wide receiver. You know, like they want to discuss like who's the greatest football player of all time, like Jerry Rice or Brady. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they got two totally different positions, and like how do you measure that? Do I call myself the quarterback? I really don't know.
In terms of what though?
Okay. So, because I feel like when it comes to, and I'll reel this back in, when it comes to purpose, right? I think you give that to yourself. In the sense that you start football, maybe you sign up for the position of quarterback, and you may not know how to throw a ball. And you're struggling in the beginning, and it feels painful. You look around, and there's other quarterbacks who can actually do it, and you start doubting yourself. I can't do this, right? But then you practice, keep practicing, you still practice, until one day you throw it. You throw that ball, and it goes far, and the receiver catches it. I feel like the moment you do that, the moment that catch is successful, it feels like you have this new gained purpose, if it makes sense.
Like I'm good at this.
Like I'm good.
Yeah.
But you can do that for anything. It's just that first door that you have to like break down.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts.
At the end of the day, dude, you can literally do what you want in this life. Literally.
And I'll say in that example, people will only reinforce that belief if you do it quick. Like, you know, like if you just started learning, like the first day you pick up the ball, you throw it like that, they're like, oh, you got it.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, but
but if it takes a year, they're like, I don't know, man. You should probably go to school.
Hey, man,
That's when ego comes into play, though. I mean, that's really how this conversation intertwines. Ego, you know, people start comparing you,
bro.
They start comparing you to other quarterbacks. They start comparing you to like, it's like LeBron and Michael Jordan. Like people love having that conversation. Why? Because it's like there's two sides to it.
You know what?
Different agreement points,
bro. Sometimes they're not even comparing you. It might be you comparing yourself to other people because you don't feel like you're where you want to be, but you don't know how much work it takes to get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron has been doing this since he was a kid, working rigorously, like day in and day out to get to where he is today. To have this level of freedom. No one sees that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you watch his path and his trajectory, then sure. But for the many of us who just see LeBron for what it is that he do today, we don't see all of that, stuff that he had to go through to get here.
And even then, like we see him and we're like, oh, he's a freak of nature, you know?
Yeah.
He was blessed 6'8", built.
Bro,
solid.
They picked up,
but they
picked up Giannis from what? From Ethiopia?
Nah, from Greece.
Greece?
And he only played ball for like 2 years. Something crazy.
How insane is that?
Yeah. Totally unorthodox. We never seen a player like
he built
him
different.
before.
He built different.
Never seen a player that size running point guard. You know?
Yo.
A center running. Now you got centers running point guard. Like,
y'all play 2K, bro? That's like when you cheating.
Yeah.
Like you make a player
like NBA
you
Live.
make your own players.
You make NBA Live 2008. Yeah, like Shaq hitting threes. You know what I mean? Or like the computer just doing it.
Yeah, but I did that before.
A
6'11", sharpshooter, could dribble everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's the beauty of life. It's just,
Shaq hitting threes from Curry.
Just by a quick you just tapping the button and boom. But that's the beauty of life, you know. It's just accepting the unknown, but also having faith and just trusting, your own godly intuition.
But yeah, man. But it's so easy to say. It's so easy to say, but it's a lot of work to even to get to that point, bro. Yeah. To get that awareness, because it's a level up.
Life is work.
It's a level up, bro.
You don't have to work whatever you want to do.
And the thing is, man,
and even if you want to work 9 to 5, you're gonna be working.
You're gonna be working.
Yeah, like if you want to work.
Bro, but every single one of us have to deal with this. All of us. We all have to deal with it. It's just some of us are put in a situation or in a better place that we acquire this knowledge earlier on. You know what I'm saying?
You start at a better spot.
Yeah. You might have parents who are spiritually inclined. All they do is feed you great affirmations to continue moving forward in your life. Some of us, we don't get that until, wait, hold on. I'm 17? Huh? I can actually do this? Huh? You never heard that before. Your whole entire life, you're hearing, nah, bro, you just gonna die, bro. And like what?
Yeah, 21 is the new old.
And that's when you have the power to change the generational line, the lineage, bro.
Yeah. And that's
you could hear the whole fucking.
Bro, we've just been talking about first steps today. From like wanting to be uncomfortable or being in those situations that make you uncomfortable to promote growth. To seeing pain as a way of, another, I guess, like lane of to growth at the end. Being with people who support you, supporting yourself. Dog, all of that is the first step to getting you to where you want to be. All of it.
Because then you realize it starts becoming second nature. Like, listen, pain it's a beautiful topic because it's something that we all experience. We continually we automatically continue to experience it. But now once you've experienced that first step of pain and you've taken the first step to embrace it and rise above it, then it just becomes second nature. Like you might feel anxiety or, a form of fear, and you're just aware of where it's coming from because this is like part of my conditioning of the past. This is part of the conditioning of what I've been taught, what this is and like what to do with it. We haven't really been taught what to do with it. A lot of people talk about fighting, you know what I mean? Like fight back, blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, no, protect yourself. You know what I mean? Protect yourself because there are going to be people and situations that want to bring you down or like, situations where you got to deal with Mother Nature and a hurricane, and you gotta fight, you gotta survive, you gotta
fight, you gotta fight the self-doubt too.
Yeah, that's a fact. But fighting, as we've seen in the past, what good has really come out of it? What growth has really come out of fighting? When you fight something, in my belief, in my opinion, you're giving it your energy. Now, I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I have to watch what I give my energy to, who I give my energy to, what I give my energy towards. Anything you give your energy to, it's going to allow that entity to grow. You feel me?
What about fighting for your freedom?
That right there, that's a good, I like how you asked that, because fighting for your freedom, that's necessary. That you have to, you have to embrace. That comes with a different intention. That comes from a place where you want, everybody wants to be free. Yeah. And not everybody's free. So you got to be able to fight for that, but at the same time, don't let the enemy grow larger. Like pick and choose how you're going to fight.
Yeah, don't become
don't stoop down to the level that they're on. You know what I mean? Because they're obviously trying to suppress you. They don't want you to rise above. A lot of the times in society, like rising above is looked at as differently.
I think that's why that's why there was such a big problem, or like that's why the government didn't really like MLK. Yeah. Because he literally was rising above. Like that man was getting dogs sent at him. Yeah. Like the water hose. Yeah.
I mean, he got assassinated. It's like anybody who stood for peace got hit with a bullet. Straight up. Malcolm X, MLK. I mean, the list goes on. Anybody who, look how they did Jesus. You know what I mean? It's like they hung that man on a cross.
And that's all generational.
Yeah.
So you're still dealing with those repercussions. Yeah. So that's exactly why we have a world this is the world that we're living in. And it's still being shaped today. Like our version of, and I'll touch on this a little bit, but our version of, MLK doing what he did is similar to what we have going on with the Black Lives Matter movement. Mm-hmm. Like that's our day's version of it. Mm-hmm. It's just that when you're in the moment, it doesn't really seem like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that is what it is. Mm-hmm. And we're all throughout, like our whole entire lives, we're going to have this. Bro, a pandemic, bro? You learned about this in school. You never thought, oh, damn, what?
Yeah, the Black Plague.
This is what it is? Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, bro.
And it happened. Like, it happened 100 years ago. Like, just recently.
Bro, history.
Yeah, the Spanish flu, no? Yeah. It happens. Diseases happen. But then again, look how people's minds work. Yeah, AIDS, people thought only, like, it was a gay thing. Or whatever. It was like only in the black community or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, look how they treated Magic Johnson. They demonized him. They thought he was the problem. Players didn't want to play on the same court as him.
Because they were just, they didn't know.
You know what I mean? They didn't know. Kids were getting it. You know what I mean? It's just, you have to be willing to accept that you don't know everything. Now, if you know everything, your whole conscience is cluttered with content. There's no freedom in that. Yeah. And now,
and I don't even know if somebody disagrees knows anything. I would say that no one knows everything.
Yeah, right? No one knows everything. That's just that's an illusion. Because it's all.
That's a crazy illusion.
What you
know, you think you know it all.
Listen, you could like, and you could. I don't know, man. It's like intelligence is not enough. People want to emphasize this intelligence.
Well, it can fool you too.
Yeah, intelligence is definitely fool you because everything
I've been fooled. I fooled myself quite a few
times. Built off
another
man's intelligence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like because
where's the wisdom at?
You think you're smart and then you think you're right, and
and there's always going to be somebody to disagree with your intelligence, to disagree with like your values, your viewpoints. Now, where does wisdom come? You know, everybody wants to, label the person that's wise or, that has a different viewpoint, that comes from his soul is crazy. Nah, that man's crazy. Like he's talking too differently. Which that's probably what people, feel about me the way I'm talking, but I don't know, man. Intelligence could literally build an atom bomb, like we've seen in the past with the Manhattan Project. You got 100,000 people building a bomb that killed how many people in Japan and Hiroshima. You know what I mean? Now, and that's destructive. That's destructive. Now, if you apply wisdom, that's just something of being aware. It's not gonna make you no money. You know what I mean?
It just doesn't get pushed as much.
It doesn't get pushed because we live in a society where everybody's trying to get money. Everybody's trying to live successful at what they deem
and we
successful.
value intelligence.
Right.
Like
I believe in valuing intelligence.
We value intelligence.
But if intelligence is the only way you move,
and that's also our society.
Taps in.
Some societies that's why they like honor the older people.
Yeah.
Because they understand that they have wisdom
through experience. Yeah. For sure. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And
I think that's like some age, like the Eastern.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more Eastern way of thinking.
And then the Western way is like, damn, he's old. Like, I don't want to be around him. Or like, yeah, they're getting old. She's getting older.
Oh, brother, this guy.
That's why you got women. You know what I mean? Like, you got to embrace age. Age is wisdom. Age is experience. I mean, you do have a lot of old heads that they're not providing any sort of support. You know what I mean? They're just worried about their own. They're trying to like, survive their own way. But yeah, man, we need to really embrace age as growth. And that's what it is. Life is your greatest teacher more than anything. You won't know something until you actually try to do something. And that's the thing. That's the reason why people are scared. They're scared of failing it. Mm-hmm. They only want to do something that they think that they're good at, and that brings them pleasure. I believe differently, man. I think, life is limitless for us. We might be confined with like our mind, and as I believe your worst enemy in life, the biggest worst enemy that you'll ever face in life is your own demons, your own self. Yeah. You know what I mean? That part of you that makes you uncomfortable. Yeah. Or like being around people and then, you're whatever. That's your biggest enemy more than anybody on the outside. You have to go through that first. You know what I mean?
What do you think the best way is to do that?
Just trying to zooming out and just being aware. Yeah. That's the best and greatest way of trying not to.
Meditation, I'd say too.
Yeah, meditation is great. That's a great tool. I like meditation, but yeah, everybody go meditate today. at least for like 5 minutes. Because as we can see, a lot of people just don't do it, but meditation is interesting to me because a lot of people meditate, and then like their daughter or somebody will come into the room and just disturb their meditation, and then look at their reaction. It's like, damn, you just interrupted my meditation.
Get out of here!
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like they want this whole peace and silence. It's like, listen, life is noisy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I really believe, like, people ask me this all the time, like, oh, do you meditate? I tell them, no, I don't meditate. My goal in life and what I'm doing now in my life is being in a constant state of meditation. And that, for me, is just being aware. Yeah. Allowing my soul to speak, allowing my soul to provide a blessing to others. That's meditation for me, rather than, taking time. I got to like take time out of my day, make sure no one calls me, no one, I get it, but it's a good form of practice. I believe in practice, to get to certain states. Yeah, but that's the goal. You want to be able to practice meditation to the point where in life you're always in a foundation of meditation, and that's peace.
Yeah, you're
that's
always
zen,
in peace.
because then the future and the past and the future is completely irrelevant. Depression being past, future being anxiety. That's non-existent. And just look at the world right now. Those are the two main problems: depression, anxiety. I mean, it's real.
We're all stuck in our heads.
Yeah, we're stuck in our heads, and look at, and then we treating the earth like shit. You know, like the earth is beautiful, the universe is beautiful. We don't even know what's going on in outer space. Yeah. It's so crazy that people don't even want to talk about it. Like we don't even know the limits out there. Are there any limits? So the same thing has to go through us, you know, as spiritual beings. It's like, it's limitless. It's just our minds, our own demons create these walls. You feel me? Oh, I'm not good enough. People could get addicted to that. And now let's talk about addiction. Like what, you know, because, you know, people want to, yeah, I get it. Like now dealing with depression and anxiety, like, you know, people have these ways of dealing with it, which unfortunately, as we've seen, gets very addictive. You know, people will take Xanax, Percocets, or antidepressants to deal with that, or just use drugs, period.
Yeah.
That leads to an addiction. Now, what started the addiction?
Yeah.
The thinking mind.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? That's where past and future comes down to, is you're thinking about it. Mm-hmm. It's not here. You feel what I'm saying? That like past and future is not here. It's not, I can't touch it. I can't feel it. You understand? I could be aware of it and let it go. I could acknowledge it, not give it any energy, and it'll let go of itself. I won't even have to say, I want to let it go. Because that's what people say. Like, oh, if something's bothering you or whatever, I let it go. If you let it go, you're not really letting it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't.
You just can't give it any of your energy.
You gotta accept it.
Acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Realize like, okay, this probably stemmed from just an entity in my mind that, you know, is very destructive. It makes me uncomfortable. It's a depressive or fearful state that I'm in. Stop giving it your energy. You know what I mean? People only want to give their energy to things that they like. You know what I mean? But unconsciously, like, depression and anxiety is real. You have to be able to acknowledge it. You can't suppress it and save it for later. Because if you're suppressing it, you're saving it for later.
It will pop up.
You know what I mean?
Continue to pop up.
It'll continue to pop up and grow crazy. Mm-hmm. And it's addictive. That's how, whether, you know, people think that addiction is like things that people don't like to be addicted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They didn't ask for that. They just addicted, and you know what? I got to continue this on because I think this is what's helping me out with my problems. No. We were never taught that we are unconsciously addicted to the thinking mind. We're addicted to thoughts.
Mm-hmm. You think being educated on that would help change? Mm-hmm. Or do you think it's an experience that you kind of have to go through to understand
I definitely think it's an experience. Yeah, because if you put that in, you know, an elective course or whatever in school, or, you know, taught that to a bunch of elementary kids, like, they would go tell you to go fuck them, you know, like, go fuck yourself. Like, I don't want to, this is not a fun topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So unless you've been through some sort of, I think suffering is your greatest teacher too, you know, to become enlightened, to become awake. And I think it should be implemented in schools, just as math, science, and reading are, comprehension. You know, it just takes a certain drive and willpower to put that into the curriculum, to teach, you know, the kids, like, about the thinking mind. Yeah. Psychology shouldn't just be an elective as it is, like art or PE. You know what I mean? That's how they treat it. It's not like a required thing. Like, I didn't even take psychology in high school. It wasn't required. I knew a lot of people that did. I just didn't really know what it was about. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's something that I feel like that, you know, society has allowed one to choose. But if you're going to make kids go to school, you know, from an early age and teach them all these elements of intelligence, you know, what are we doing here? Are we really growing, or are we just really kind of repeating the old generations?
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
I think the change for that will happen.
Yeah, it might happen.
It's new.
Not probably now. Like,
nah, it's new, but it's coming.
We're seeing it go on though. Like with this pandemic, that, you know, I can't believe it's been 2 years already. But you know, we've seen points of change where, in my belief, anytime you're uncomfortable, anytime there's like a real crisis situation, like, you know, as we saw with, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement, and, you know, George Floyd passing, and, you know, just all this craziness, you know, people killing each other. You know what I mean? That's one thing that people don't want to talk about, is just, you know, we're killing each other. Those are real opportunities to wake up rather than keep on accepting what's going on, the cycles, the patterns. You know what I mean? Because what are patterns? Patterns are addictions. You know what I mean? People have addictions to lifestyles that make them comfortable. And that comes down to like what we were talking about. It's just like rising above uncomfortability, man. You know, to really get to a place of well-being, for your family to get to a place of well-being, and recognizing that you're a God, that, all right, you started your family, you were born into this world with a family. How can I become a blessing to them, rather than praying to God for all these blessings? You know, which that can never be fully satisfied. You know what I mean? Like, the ego always wants more. You feel me? It's like, if everybody had a Rolls Royce, that person who got the Rolls Royce just wouldn't feel special no more. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, let me get a Toyota, man. I don't want this Rolls Royce, man.
Get
Everybody
Toyota,
got this.
Man. Like,
everybody got this, man. I want the Rolls.
Don't identify with materials and sensory, you know, elements. You know, like, really identify with your source, love, whether you're religious or not. Like, I just use the word God because I feel like that's what it comes down to.
I don't know. All right, look, let me give you a little bit of pushback before we. I think that's very difficult for some people, like, to say that, because some people kind of do, and I'm not saying identify in the sense of this is me, like, this is all of me, but sometimes the person who pours out their entire, like, feelings and emotions and soul into a piece of art is all that they have. That therapist won't work, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that shoulder to lean on won't work, right? And maybe it's not just the art. Maybe it's, okay, you know, doing fashion design or putting on this extremely comfortable, luxurious coat literally makes me better. Like, without that, I don't know where I would be. I mean, I believe
you could honor certain things though, and
what? It's extreme. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Like, in a sense of, like, everybody thinks different. Like, everybody's different. Everybody's appeasing.
I would say it could help. Like, you know, like, because if you're feeling better, you know, you can do better. Yeah, I say, like,
but
I don't.
This.
Yeah, I think I went a little too far with, like, the whole materialism and sensory. Like, I love nice things. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just, you know, I learned that from my mother. My mother always, like, she never had a lot of money, but she always had, like, nice things around. Yeah. You know, that she felt a connection to, because she worked hard for it, and it just, you know, made her feel happy. Yeah. And I feel like, you know, you could have a real connection, with pieces like a nice coat, a nice pair of sneakers. You know, like, it's just. It's all about your intuition, man. Like, what are you trying to seek the approval of others? Yeah, you know what I mean. And you might not even really like that coat, but your man's and, you know, your people's really like it. Yeah, that's a different type of intention.
I get you.
And even with the Rolls Royce thing, like, that man, he's, you know,
like,
old.
why?
Yeah, why? Yeah, like, he trying to, you know.
Yo.
It goes back to why.
Because, damn, bro, all right, we all think differently. Like, the way we think about shit is different. Yeah. And then when something works for us, when something works for me, or it may work for you, or whomever, that's how we see it. Yeah. You feel me? It's not, and I like what you say, like, until you rise above it and see that, okay, yo, that's how I see things. Yeah. Someone else right across from me may think that his only reason for like being here, existing, is because I want to be able to produce what I want. I want to do what I want in this life and put it out in the world for the people. If they don't want it, they don't want it. Mm-hmm. But I did it, and that's all I want to do with the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. Mm-hmm. None of this other shit matters to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people like that. And there's people who don't get a chance to even have the mindset that we do. Some people just have a day of struggle waiting for them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, there's different ways of and then if you go to the East, it's a whole different level of thinking. They think very different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nothing is like this. Nothing is one-sided. Nothing is the correct way.
Life is complex.
There's a duality for sure.
Yeah, it's an open box, bro. Like, choose your archetype, choose your character, and play. Mm-hmm. Like, it's literally the game.
That's what I like about it. Like, you have so many hats that you can wear in this life. Mm-hmm. So try on all the hats, people. You know,
man, try the hats and pick the ones you like. Yep, there you go. Don't use a hat that you know ain't gonna fit you. Don't do that.
Stick to one hat.
Don't keep the same hat. It's gonna get dirty.
Man wearing one hat and he like, I don't even like this hat.
That's a fact. It's just the reality of life, you know, and it's a beauty of life to be able to recognize it. You know, we could sit here and talk about all the negatives and positives that, you know, we're aware of, that, you know, where we live, but it's all, we have to embrace it all at the end of the day and be able to live and let go. Yeah. That, you know, even of the positive moments, you know, everybody wants to go on a vacation.
Live and let go.
Yep. Live and let go. Everybody wants to go on a vacation and carry, a lot of times you're carrying your misery because you're not letting go. So now you're in Hawaii, or, you know, you're in a vacation resort. Mm-hmm. You're taking pictures. You tell your peoples to take a picture of you, and you're smiling. As soon as that camera goes down, you're unhappy.
You're unhappy. You're back. I mean?
Because you're doing something that you think is going to make a positive impression, which it can. But at the same time, like, the way we like to hold on to positive memories, we unconsciously hold on to a lot of negative. You know what I mean? And you're suffering. A lot of times you could be suffering behind that. Mm-hmm. That's why I say, that's my meaning behind live and let go. That's what life's about. Because if you know, if you're not letting go, you're holding on to the past. You're living in the past. Okay. You could be living in the future. You're not letting go. You know. And how? My sister's 11 years old. One day she told me, "Yo, it's crazy. The mind plays tricks on you, straight up." And that took her to live. You know, at 11 years old, she's already talking like that. I just realized that. I'm 27. I just realized that a few, you know, years ago, and I'm still learning, like, wow, like, you know, expect the unexpected, embrace the unknown. You know, we don't know shit. We think we know it because we got, you know what I mean, these cell phones and, you know what I mean, like textbooks and all that.
We got information at the palm of our hands, so we think we know everything.
You know, just move with love, man. You know, that and don't look for the outside for love, you know. Like, the love is within you. You know, if you really know and are aware of what you're attracted to, what your soul is, things are just going to, you know, everything happens in life for a reason. Yeah. Every piece, the negatives too. Life is designed to be uncomfortable. Life is designed to challenge you. It's just that, how do you not put your emotions, how do you not tie into that, you know what I mean, get intertwined into the problems and fall below the situation. It's all about rising above, man. Growth is beautiful.
Well, thank you, Ollie, for pulling up, bro. We enjoyed you. You can shout out any.
I mean, let me just shout out myself one time, man. Yeah. I'm Ollie, a.k.a. Ollievelli. I met these two great individuals at a real important time in my life, you know, where we were able to construct a little platform called the Space of Awareness, where, you know, we do bring about conversations on spirituality and just fundamentals on how to grow in life and just enjoy the simple and truest nature of love and life in its whole.
The link will be in the description.
Link will be in the description for sure. Tap into my Instagram. I'm currently working on a few art pieces. That's one of the elements of life that I really enjoy is making art and having a good conversation with these two brothers right here. So I just really wanted to thank y'all, man, for real, for sharing this platform with me.
Thank you for pulling up, bro.
Thank you for, you know what I mean, allowing me to come over here. This is a beautiful, beautiful studio they got. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh man, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, bro, for the wisdom and the words.
Thank you, man. God bless. And to all you, man, just keep going. Keep going and really try to live your life in a way where you're a blessing. You know, your blessings are always going to, the things that you want, your blessings will always come about throughout you blessing. So just have faith and keep going.
All right, y'all.
One.
Peace.
One.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Deep Thoughts.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Our link tree is in the description, and you can check out previous videos on the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and a review. Maybe we'll read it on the podcast one of these days.
After you leave that rating and review, be sure to share it with friends, family. You know, Deep Thoughts. Come on, family. Let's get it. Let's grow.
Y'all take care. Peace.